Hi everyone, my name is Konnor. I'm one of the fourth year medical students at UC Irvine in sunny Southern California. We're going to walk through a board style question today, specifically microbiology. Micro, super high yield for step 1 and step 2, but more so step 1. And who doesn't love board style questions? Sketchy did us a real favor by including a whole host, no pun intended for host, on board style questions embedded in their question bank. So let's do this question together. So, which of the following additional laboratory findings would support the diagnosis of the causative organism? Okay, so I already know, yes, I set up the test to be just micro questions, but I already know based on reading this last sentence, which I like to do. I like to read the last sentence first because it kind of primes me to these things. So, additional labs, I have to support a diagnosis, and it says causative organism. Okay, I know it's a micro question. I actually don't read the answer choices. Like if I just quickly look at them right now, they're kind of long. That takes up time and they bias you. So I personally don't read them until the end, but other people read them early on. So I have a 28-year-old male. He goes on a 2-week hiking trip in the Rocky Mountains. He drank water from the stream without treating it. Probably not the best move. He now presents with belly pain, bloating, foul-smelling, greasy diarrhea. So when you see foul-smelling, greasy diarrhea, there should be one bug that immediately comes into your head. I'm not going to name it right now. I'll give you a second to think of it. He doesn't have a fever, and the physical exam is unremarkable. They did a stool exam, which you see trophozoites with 2 nuclei and multiple flagella. So if you didn't already guess it from this, here's another set to help you. But the question's not asking me what is the bug. It's what is going to support the diagnosis. This is why this is board style and higher order, because it's not just asking what is it. It makes you require that you know what it is to answer the question because it's not directly the name. So what additional laboratory findings would support the diagnosis of the causative organism? Spoiler alert, causative organism is Giardia. When I see that foul-smelling, greasy diarrhea from someone who drank untreated water on a camping or a hiking trip or whatnot, it's Giardia. Then they tell me the trophozoites with the 2 nuclei and the multiple flagella. It kind of looks like a little shield with the 2 eyes and whatnot. I just remember Giardia has a really funny looking picture. So Giardia. So what is going to help support this diagnosis, right? Observation of falling leaf motility on wet mount microscopy. I do remember that from the sketch. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I don't entirely remember where I saw this within that sketch and what exactly it's showing me, but I remember falling leaf motility with Giardia. So right now, leading to be my top answer, but I'm not 100% sure. Detection of acid-fast oocysts in the stool sample. So yes, this would be an additional laboratory finding. This doesn't support the diagnosis. They already told me it's trophozoites with 2 nuclei multiple flagella. Giardia is not acid-fast. So this isn't going to add anything. This is actually going to, muddy my diagnosis. Positive fecal antigen test for entamoeba. Okay, another one of you are like, oh, I did something bad. I'm hiking, blah, blah, blah. Now I have some weird belly stuff. But entamoeba causes dysentery. So that's more likely to be a bloody diarrhea and a lot of it. And not just this foul-smelling, greasy diarrhea. So less likely. Gram-positive cocci in clusters. When you see gram-positive cocci in clusters, you think of staph. Staph doesn't really cause this. Maybe some staph food poisoning, but this isn't food poisoning, and it's been going on for a little bit, so don't think it's that. And then detection of segmented worms in the stool. We already know that there's trophozoites with 2 nuclei and multiple flagella. I don't really think that this, has tinea in it or, a tapeworm or anything like that, based on what they already told me. So unlikely, very unlikely. And I kind of ranked them this way too, of what do I have evidence for? What do I not? Positive fecal antigen test. Again, this would be way more bloody diarrhea. This, again, it's not, Giardia is not acid fast. So that's not in here. So even though I don't entirely remember where I saw the words falling leaf motility, I know it's not any of the other 4. And that is something I'm confident about. And it paid off. So when we look in here, Giardia has a distinctive face-like appearance with 2 nuclei and multiple flagella. It is correct because it exhibits falling leaf motility on wet mount microscopy. And then for all of this other stuff is what we talked about, but I kind of don't remember Giardia. So besides what I pointed out, so we're going to pull up the sketch and just kind of go through this, together. Again, some crummy, nasty water. We get the bubbles in the water. These are cysts. Okay, backpackers. Yeah, I remember that. And also going back to the bubbles contaminating food and water. Yeah, that's Giardia. So poorly purified or untreated water, like you can see here, is exactly how you get it. It's like the campers, but it's that foul smelling diarrhea that you think about. Here's our trophozoite shields. They actually look so much like that, which is really crazy. So we do stool OMP and ova and parasite to look for it and for the Giardia antigens. And then we use metronidazole. So that's why the metro is going in the back. So this was just a quick way. Again, this sketch only has 12 symbols. That took me like 45 seconds to go through. Makes me feel so much more comfortable answering questions about Giardia. So if there is something that, yes, you even got the question right, go back and review the sketch just quickly. It'll help on future questions, I promise.